Okay, we're down here at the canals, which really in other places they'd be considered riverbeds, but Arizona, we don't get much rain here, so these are dry most of the time. When we do get rain, it kind of floods everything. Since the rock bed here is so high, the soil doesn't really absorb anything, so we have real problems with flooding when we get heavy rain. So we've got these canals all over the city, and they make for great running areas for the dogs. But as you can see, it's kind of a great place to take the dogs out to. In the summer months, this would be a completely different story. Right now, we're probably about 45 degrees, about 8 o'clock in the morning, and mid-January. Actually, we've got a cold spell going on right now, so it's probably about 45 degrees right now. So for here, this is cold. I think this is probably the coldest morning of the season. But in the summer months, in about 6 months, this is going to be a very, very different story. With it being the desert here, Spartan Desert, we can see 115, 120 degrees, and you really wouldn't want to be out in this area without a lot of water and a nice cap to protect your head, be able to withstand the heat, especially in the dead of the day. The evenings it's not so bad, but middle of the day, it can be tough unless you're really prepared. So also the rattlesnakes. Out in here, you need to worry about the rattlesnakes, as they would be out and active looking for mice in through here. Other than that, we're just going to film the girls for a bit. Favorite time of the week, we take them out here on Saturday, Sunday, either here or across the way. Here goes Ginger. Ginger's a baby. She acts like a baby. Even though she's about 2.5 years old now, she's still so full of energy. Never calms down. Well, except when she sleeps. She's either full go or nothing at all. And Roxy, she's the steady companion. She's a good girl. She never does anything to cause me any problem. I just wish Ginger would kind of take after it. Ginger's done chewed up 2 couches, every phone I've ever owned. Yeah, but I still love her, I guess. They make good companions. Doc, what you doing there, buddy? Huh, sweetie? All right. It actually got a little bit thicker since I've gotten Ginger. But I can't tell why. Well, maybe so. Ginger doesn't eat much. She's very finicky. So she'll leave her food there. And Roxy likes to eat. So I'm not watching carefully. If Ginger doesn't eat, Roxy will definitely take over anything that's left over. So that's a big part of it. Plus with working, I used to work from home, and I could take them for walks every morning and at night. It's so much easier to take care of them. But now that I don't work in the house anymore, it makes it tougher to get them out. That's why I like these weekends, because they can just play. And plus it wears them out. It keeps them. And when we get home, they're just ready to sleep. It's good to see a tired dog. And you're thinking, I suppose this one's probably more for me than anybody else. Well, maybe Shay. Shay is Roxy's mom. Well, not technically, biologically, but she was when I brought Roxy here from New York. Roxy's a New York City dog, and Ginger is an Arizona native. I think you can tell by her Indian stripes. So anyways, this here, Arizona, Phoenix in particular, sits in kind of a valley surrounded by extinct volcanoes. That's what these mountains are that you see here. You see the black rock on them. They are volcanoes that have popped up a million or so years ago. Kind of look around the landscape. I'm kind of in this ditch here. We can't see them here, but up over here is where you start getting up into elevation changes. So Phoenix sits probably about 12,000 feet, or excuse me, about 1,200 feet above sea level. But we're in kind of a bowl, it seems. Perhaps that's why we're in the desert. We get so much heat. But northern Arizona goes up in elevation several thousand feet. So, for example, right now, it's kind of comfortable down here. 45 degrees isn't too bad. If we were to go north about 2-3 hours, we'd be in Flagstaff, and I believe they're getting snow. So they would be probably, and actually I know they're getting bitter cold right now, so they're probably 15, maybe even 10 degrees. So it's a big change. It's also kind of nice that if you want a change or a break during the winter months from the cold or from the heat, whatever. If you're here in the summer and you're tired of the heat, you can drive north and get out of it. That's what makes hiking so nice. So you can get up there and get away from it. And vice versa. If you want to go snow skiing this time of year, you can always do that. Go up there, go ski, and then come home at night and take your jackets and parkas off. Makes a big difference. Alright, well, we'll turn this off in a minute and we'll pick it up later. Okay, we've got a little bit better elevation. Can give you a better look at what the surrounding city looks like. This is a wash we just came up through, or the canal technically. The canal kind of peters out to what is a wash in through here. You can always tell a wash out here. The foliage, the plants are actually trees. They're a lot larger than the surrounding area. For example, these plants down in here are a lot bigger than these guys up in here. And the reason being is that even though that wash looks dry, there's actually water underneath there. And those trees are drawing on that water to sustain them. And that's how they get to be so healthy. And as far as the volcanoes go, as you can see, we've got all these peaks all around Phoenix. They're really a lot of fun to go up and hike and explore. And like I said, they're all ancient, but they're volcanic activity. And up north we've got what's called San Francisco Peak, which goes up to 12,700 feet, and it's the tallest mountain in Arizona. And it does, you know, but at the top there's no trees, there's no vegetation that even grows because it is so high and cold. And again, it's a volcano as well. To give you an idea of what this volcanic rock looks like, right here is some of this rock, volcanic rock. You see how it's been scorched, and it's probably was scorched, who knows, thousands of years ago. It still keeps its color. That's where you find a lot of the petroglyphs from the Indians. They mark these, and you can really find them pretty much throughout Arizona. You kind of stumble on them as you're hiking around, and they, you know, there's different drawings of horses or birds or whatever it was that was important in their lives. And these things make great etching stones because beneath them is, you know, plain rock, but the surface is black, and it's easy enough to just kind of chip off the black part of it. And pan around here. See, this is kind of the interesting part about Arizona too, is that there's still horse property in the midst of the city. Well, looks like we're getting some development in here. Up over here where the church is, there's horse property, and they have been. These are the ranches that have been around here since probably the 20s and 30s. But yet, as you can tell, It's the city's grown so much that those days of ranches are pretty much gone. So here's all the new developments in through here, and churches. We've got lots of churches. Now, that's another thing you might be able to see out here. Balloons. Or we get, I can't tell if I got them or not. Arizona, where they love to do the balloons this time of year. And there's a time where, actually a few years back, they'd have the balloon races, and there'd be dozens and dozens of them in the skies. They're beautiful. It's always nice to get up and watch them. But anyways, as you can see, we've got kind of a cold front that's blowing in, and today's high will probably be in the 50s, which is alright with me. Those 100-degree temperatures, they just get old after a while. So, okay, we're going to head down a bit. Here's an example of, as you hear Ginger and Roxy, here's an example of that ancient Indian petroglyphs that I was talking about earlier. It appears a squaw named, I believe it would be Linda, and perhaps her chief and Paul, I think they're expressing their affection for one another. Maybe Ginger will pee on it, but I just want to show you what beautiful artwork these ancient people have left for us. In the meantime, let's get a blow by blow for the girl. This is their favorite thing. They'll do this for hours and hours and hours. But Roxy's collar I've had to replace it a few times because Ginger, as a puppy, she loves to grab her collar. And I think Roxy enjoys it too. She just acts like she doesn't. Alright, there's the girls. This is just walking along the wash themselves, following one of the beds here. These washes are great because summertime they give you a lot of shade and cools things down quite a bit. The problem with them though is that you got to be careful with these washes, in that you can have a storm miles and miles away, but since our ground is so rocky, it just doesn't absorb the rain. So the rain will funnel into these washes, and this can become a flood in no time. It happens every year, it seems, that people will camp out in these washes, not knowing that a storm has broken loose, and a wall of water will come down and wash them away. It really is quite dangerous. See people off to the side of me, so I got to keep an eye on the girls. I'm going to sign out for now. Here I wanted to show you kind of an example of volcanic activity we had here. This may not have been a volcano. This is probably just one of the offshoots of one of the bigger volcanoes that we have down to the south. And you can see the black rock that goes through here. It's pretty indicative of a volcano. I'll show you some of these houses too. They're absolutely beautiful. Hopefully these people won't think I'm spying on them or to rob them. But these are some of these multi-million-dollar homes that's kind of built up around here. Luckily I live in the neighborhood with my... Hold on. Well, this is better than any old football game, isn't it? They just look so scary. Yes, they do. Just vicious. Just vicious. And look at that face. Who couldn't love that face? Oh, that little baby. Look how beautiful. Give us a smile, Rob. Give us a smile. Alright, well, maybe later. Okay. Come on, let's go. People get tired of watching dogs run. I'm sorry. I just like to see them out here running. They're so cooped up in the house during the week. Good to see them exercising and having fun. Roxy, I think she's a little bit petered out. You tired, sweetie? You tired? Are you tired, honey? Yes, I bet you are. I bet you are. Okay. Then Ginger, she's not one to tire very quickly. She'll keep on bugging Roxy. But, that's okay. She'll wear down here shortly. Up above here, some young ladies with a little dog. Maybe come back this way, so we have to tie up my girl. So, all right. Ginger's the forever pest. Forever pest. Always pestering poor Roxy. But then, if you know, if I ever take Ginger to the vet, and I take her for a walk separately, Roxy just prances and walks around. She's like an old mother hen. Always wondering, where's Ginger? Where's Ginger? Then when she sees her, she's like, ah, damn kids. What are you going to do? Here's some more primitive art from ancient Indian ancestors. They seem to be a pretty creative bunch. You know, they seem to like the colors and so on. I wonder how they got those colors. Maybe took it from like deer poop or something, I suppose. I don't know. But they sure were an imaginative bunch. Huh. Alright, let's go home. Come on, let's go home. Those folks that haven't seen my house, it is. Just tell a lot of people my garage is the only part that really faces the street. The rest of my house is kind of in the back there. And when something happens on the street, say it's my New Year's Eve, they're banging some things out here. I didn't even hear it. The only access to my house is through that gate right there. And of course I've got two massive boxer dogs that just love to greet people. But yeah, so that's about it. There's my house. And this is the end result. It'll be pretty much in this position all day long. Just really get tired and they'll sleep all day, which is good. Because the other one, this one in particular, she looks for things to get into, especially if I go somewhere. She loves to chew on things. So now this way she'll sleep most of the day and she'll kind of feel content, which is good. And Roxy, on the other hand, she's probably been the best dog. She never chews anything. She's been a very good girl. Okay, I'm sounding like I'm playing favorites. I guess I do in a bit, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Roxy's the big girl. She's always good dog, and Ginger's the eternal puppy. Love her too. There you go.